Grief and flowers. Making and sharing this video was very difficult for me. I didn't edit very much out, so you will see a lot of pausing, and seeking for words to describe my process. Grief brings up a lot of raw, deep feelings that people experience. And I want it to be real and honest based on my own experience. Today I get the pleasure of making a flower arrangement for somebody that has had a loss in their life. When it comes to designing flowers for somebody that's grieving, I feel like that's an honor and a privilege. Part of the reason why being in flowers is such a magical and amazing thing is because even in the worst of times, in the most difficult times, flowers still heal, they still uplift. They can still bring peace or love or energy in their life. And so I feel like it's a privilege and an honor to be able to make flowers for somebody that is grieving. And it does send love, it does send compassion and you know, good feelings. I just wanted to show you how I would make a flower arrangement. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but I'm also going to put a little bit of, just what I think that they would personally like. Sometimes I feel like when you give flowers to somebody, it's not necessarily like, this is not for the funeral, this is just for them. This is just for me to bring to their home. So I'm actually going to keep the person that's had the loss in mind when I'm doing the flowers, not necessarily the person that is no longer with us. I'm going to chit chat while I'm designing here. Flower, grieving is a part of life, of course. I've had my own I lost my own mom almost 2 years ago, and I remember that one of my friends sent me flowers, and it was probably one of the nicest gestures I could have had. When you get flowers at any time, it's an amazing thing to get. But when you get it when you're dealing with loss and you're sometimes you can't even find words, and you're the feelings are overwhelming and emotional, and there's so many things coming at you, and there's so much family stuff going on, and it can be very intense. And flowers can be very peaceful and calming. They can be very uplifting, and again, show and send love. They send love, and so flowers are, it's interesting because it's a difficult thing to talk about. I think I've tried a couple times now to make videos on this, and it's just talking about grief and is, it's difficult, especially when you've experienced it. And but I've also experienced the healing and the power of flowers with it. I'll just share my own experience with it. So again, my mom passed away. She was probably the closest person. She was the closest person I had in my life, and it was a huge loss for me. And one of my friends sent me flowers, and it was amazing. And then I also had another super close friend that actually did the flowers for my mom's funeral service, and as well as the life celebration of life. And just being able to see these these beautiful flowers that kind of that really represented my mom in a way, was just felt really good. It felt really homey. And for me, it's just even looking at them gives me a sense of peace. And I think it's kind of almost kind of settles you So it's pretty incredible that flowers can do that. And for my mom's, for her funeral, we actually, we as a family, we grow tulips, and her favorite color was purple. And so we actually took tulips, and each person got to float. We have a river behind our property, and so my family property, and we each had a tulip and floated it down the river. And it was just, there was just something about the flowers representing my mom and just our family, and you know, it just was, they're beautiful. They're, you know, some flowers have amazing scents, and just, again, it can take you out of, you know, I mean, if grieving comes in waves. It's not, you know, it's definitely, you know, it just comes in waves. But when you have flowers around you, you can definitely, can put you in a different energy level. It can uplift your space. It can just give you a sense of peace. It can make you feel like you're loved and that you're not alone. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to finish this arrangement, and then I just, you know, again, I wanted to share that designing flowers can be very, like, just working with flowers can be very uplifting and peaceful. And so when when somebody that I know has had a loss, it's very therapeutic for me to be able to work on these flowers, think of them while I'm working on these flowers, and just design and just put love into them. And again, it's very therapeutic. It makes me feel at peace. And I know I keep saying that, but there's something about the flowers that really kind of are grounding and earthy, and they just feel great. So anyway, so my point, you know, so I have several points. One of them is flowers can be very healing, uplifting. They not just working with them, but also when you give somebody flowers, it's a very beautiful way of saying, I care, I love you, I'm thinking of you. And you know, it's an amazing thing. So here it is. I think, you know, any kind of flowers that you send is going to be absolutely beautiful and appropriate. It just, yeah. So, there you go. In the end, grief is a part of life. And my way of supporting loved ones is with flowers. Thank you for watching.